Discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not popular. But it is the foundation of everything. Without discipline, talent means nothing. Without discipline, vision dies. Without discipline, dreams fade. Discipline is the difference between the person who almost makes it and the one who becomes unstoppable. Every morning when your feet hit the floor, the battle begins. Your body whispers, stay in bed, hit the snooze, you've got time. But discipline speaks louder. Discipline says, no, get up, move, start now. That's why discipline must be a daily habit, because it's a fight you must win every single day. Greatness isn't built in explosions of motivation. Greatness is built in the small, ordinary choices that nobody sees. The greatest athletes, the sharpest minds, the strongest leaders, they don't rise because they feel motivated every morning. They rise because they are disciplined every morning. They work when it's hard. They keep moving when no one is clapping. Discipline is not about doing what feels good. It's about doing what is necessary. It's the art of saying no to comfort so you can say yes to growth. It's choosing focus when distractions scream. It's putting in the work when motivation has left the building. Motivation can get you started, but only discipline can finish the race. And here's the truth. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. You will stumble. You will fail. You will fall flat on your face sometimes. But discipline means you refuse to stay down. Discipline means you rise again, no matter how many times you fall. Discipline is the muscle that grows stronger with every rep. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Think about it like this. A soldier doesn't train only when he feels like it. He trains because the mission depends on it. A musician doesn't practice only when the mood strikes. They practice because the performance demands it. And you, your destiny, your vision, your calling deserves that same discipline. Take a look at your daily life. Where are you undisciplined? Where are you wasting time? Where are you letting comfort rob your future? Because the unstoppable know this. Every choice matters. Every decision is training. Every moment is building or breaking the person you are becoming. Discipline is built in the little things. Getting up when you said you would. Finishing what you started. Honoring your word to yourself. Not quitting halfway through. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And when you learn to trust yourself, confidence explodes. Most people lose not because they lack talent, but because they lack discipline. They give in too soon. They settle for less. They let comfort win the fight. But the unstoppable, they've built a habit of discipline so strong that quitting isn't even an option. They push when it hurts. They work when it's silent. They grind when it's lonely. And here's the secret. Discipline gives freedom. People think it's the opposite. They think discipline is restriction, limitation, chains. But the truth is, discipline sets you free. Free from regret. Free from weakness. Free from being controlled by laziness or distraction. Discipline gives you the freedom to live the life you were created for. So wake up early. Do what you said you'd do. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Build the habit every single day. Because when you master discipline, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing, no obstacle, no critic, no failure can stop you. Discipline is the first daily habit that makes you unstoppable. It's not easy. It's not popular. But it is powerful. And if you commit to it, if you practice it daily, if you let it guide your steps, you will rise higher than you ever imagined. Focus. In a world full of noise, distractions, and endless voices pulling you in every direction, focus is a superpower. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they lack focus. They scatter their energy in 100 different directions instead of locking it into one. And the unstoppable, they've mastered the habit of focus. Focus means saying no more than you say yes. It means cutting off the distractions, the excuses, the meaningless noise, and pointing all your energy in a single direction. Because scattered energy produces scattered results. But focused energy, that's what creates breakthroughs. Think about a magnifying glass. In the sun, light is everywhere. But when you focus that light through the glass, it creates fire. That's what focus does in your life. It takes your time, your talent, your effort, your energy, and instead of letting it leak into 100 things, it channels it into one purpose until it burns through every obstacle. The habit of focus begins with clarity. You cannot focus if you don't know what matters most. You cannot stay locked in if you haven't decided your mission. Too many people are busy, but not productive. They're running everywhere, but going nowhere. They're doing everything, but accomplishing nothing. Why? Because they've never stopped to ask, what is my real goal? What am I called to do? What matters most? The unstoppable are ruthless about clarity. They define their purpose. They decide their priorities. And then they cut off everything that doesn't serve that mission. Because if you try to chase everything, you end up catching nothing. Focus also requires discipline of attention. We live in an age of distraction. Every minute, something is fighting for your eyes, your ears, your heart. Social media, emails, notifications, entertainment, voices pulling you off track. If you don't control your attention, it will be controlled for you. That's why focus must become a daily habit, because every day is a battle for your attention. The unstoppable don't waste hours scrolling. They don't lose days chasing meaningless drama. They don't let noise drown their mission. They guard their time like treasure. They protect their energy like gold. And they know the ability to focus is rarer now than ever before, which makes it more valuable than ever before. Look at history's great achievers. They weren't always the smartest. They weren't always the most gifted, but they were focused. They locked in on their vision and refused to let anything distract them. While others wasted energy, they concentrated it. While others chased comfort, they chased purpose. While others got lost in the noise, they tuned into the mission. Focus doesn't just happen. It's trained, it's built, it's chosen. Every day you must choose what matters. Every day you must ask, does this bring me closer to my goal or pull me away? And if it doesn't serve your mission, let it go. The unstoppable are not afraid to miss out. They don't chase every trend. They don't need to be everywhere. They don't care what everyone else is doing. Why? Because they know where they're going. They've locked their eyes on the prize, and they refuse to look away. And here's the truth. The world will try to break your focus. People will try to distract you. Life will try to pull you sideways. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your years busy, distracted, exhausted, and empty. But if you practice focus daily, if you build the habit of guarding your attention, you'll accomplish more in 1 year than most people do in a lifetime. Think of focus like a lens. Blur it, and nothing is clear. Sharpen it, and everything becomes possible. That's why focus is a habit. You don't just find it once. You practice it daily. You sharpen it hourly. You protect it like your life depends on it, because your future does. So cut off the distractions. Guard your time. Define your priorities. Lock in on your mission, and refuse to break your focus. Because when you focus, you become unstoppable. Consistency. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous. But it is unstoppable. Consistency is what takes small actions and turns them into massive results. It's what transforms effort into excellence, habits into mastery, and dreams into reality. Anybody can start strong. Anybody can be excited at the beginning. Anybody can show up when it's new, when it's fun, when energy is high. But the unstoppable, they keep going long after the excitement fades. They show up when it's boring. They grind when it's lonely. They push when nobody is clapping. Consistency is their secret weapon. Think about water. A single drop doesn't carve stone, but consistent drops day after day will cut through rock. That's the power of consistency. It doesn't always feel powerful in the moment, but over time it's unstoppable. Consistency is proof of commitment. Talk means nothing without consistency. Goals mean nothing without consistency. Vision dies without consistency, because consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. Too many people quit too early. They want fast results. They want instant gratification. They want success on the first try. But nothing great is built in a day. Seeds take time to grow. Muscles take time to strengthen. Skills take time to sharpen. Consistency is the patience to keep showing up even when results are invisible. Look at the greatest athletes, musicians, and leaders. They didn't arrive overnight. They practiced daily. They trained when it wasn't easy. They repeated the basics until mastery was second nature. While others gave up, they kept going. And that daily grind, that consistent effort, is what made them legends. Consistency is not perfection. You don't need to be flawless. You don't need to never fail. You don't need to never stumble. What matters is that you don't stop. If you fall 7 times, consistency means you rise 8. If you miss a step, consistency means you take the next one. If you lose momentum, consistency means you rebuild it again and again. And here's the truth, consistency creates compound power. One workout doesn't change your body, but 100 do. One act of kindness doesn't change the world, but daily kindness transforms communities. One page doesn't write a book, but consistent writing finishes it. Small steps repeated daily create unstoppable momentum. The problem is that most people underestimate time. They quit because results don't come fast enough. They say, I've been at this for a week, I don't see change. But consistency isn't about 1 week. It's about months. It's about years. It's about building brick by brick until the wall is unshakable. And that's why consistency is rare. People want it quickly. They want it easy. They want now. But the unstoppable understand that greatness requires patience. They plant the seeds, they water them daily, and they trust that in time the harvest will come. Consistency also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove you are reliable. Every time you show up, you tell yourself, I can trust myself. And that self-trust is priceless. Because when you know you're consistent, you don't fear failure. You don't doubt yourself. You know no matter what happens, you will keep going. But hear me, consistency requires structure. You can't rely on feelings. You can't rely on motivation. You can't wait till you feel like it. You must build routines, systems, and habits that make consistency automatic. Wake up at the same time. Do the work at the same time. Create non-negotiables in your life. Because success is not built in random bursts. It is built in daily structure. And consistency requires vision. You need to know why you're doing it. Because without vision, consistency becomes drudgery. But with vision, consistency becomes sacred. It becomes the daily expression of your destiny. So ask yourself, where are you inconsistent? Where do you start but never finish? Where do you lose momentum? And then ask, what would my life look like if I just stayed consistent? If I just kept showing up? If I just refused to quit? Because the truth is, consistency beats talent. Consistency beats motivation. Consistency beats luck. Talent without consistency fades. Motivation without consistency dies. Luck without consistency is wasted. But consistency, it always wins. So build the habit. Show up daily. Stay steady. Stay patient. Stay relentless. Because when you master consistency, nothing, no delay, no obstacle, no failure can stop you. Consistency is the third daily habit that makes you unstoppable. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. But it's the grind that builds greatness. Resilience, the power to rise, the strength to get back up, the courage to face failure and say, you will not break me. If discipline builds you and focus guides you and consistency keeps you moving, then resilience is what guarantees you never stay down. It is the habit of refusing to quit, no matter how many times life knocks you to the ground. Listen, storms will come, trials will hit, failures will happen. That's not a possibility. That's a guarantee. Nobody escapes pain. Nobody escapes loss. Nobody escapes disappointment. But the difference between the ordinary and the unstoppable is this. The ordinary stay down. The unstoppable rise again. Falling is not failure. Staying down is. Everyone falls. Everyone stumbles. Everyone makes mistakes. But resilience means you get back up one more time than you fell. It means you refuse to let your story end in defeat. It means you choose to stand, even when standing hurts. Think about the greatest comebacks in history. Athletes who were counted out, only to return stronger. Leaders who were written off, only to rise higher. Innovators who failed again and again, only to finally change the world. Their secret wasn't perfection. Their secret was resilience. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before the light bulb worked. When asked about his failures, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found thousands of ways that didn't work. That's resilience. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but he didn't stop. He trained harder, pushed further, and became one of the greatest to ever play. That's resilience. Resilience is the fire that grows stronger when tested. It's the muscle that strengthens under pressure. It's the spirit that refuses to surrender. Without resilience, every setback ends your story. With resilience, every setback becomes part of your story. But resilience isn't natural. It's a habit, a choice, a decision you make daily, that no matter what comes against you, you will not stay down. You will bend but not break. You will stumble but not stop. You will cry but you will not quit. Resilience is built in small moments. Every time you feel like giving up but keep going. Every time you face rejection and still try again. Every time you fail but choose to rise anyway. Those moments stack up. They build a resilient spirit. They prepare you for bigger battles. The truth is, resilience comes from pain. You don't build resilience in comfort. You don't build resilience in ease. You build it in the storm. You build it in the fire. You build it when everything in you wants to quit, but you choose to fight one more round. And here's the key. Resilience is not just about surviving. It's about thriving after the fall. It's about learning from failure, growing from the pain, rising not just back to where you were, but higher than you were before. Falling backward, but using the fall to launch forward. That's resilience. Ask yourself, when life knocks me down, do I stay down? Or do I rise? Do I let failure define me? Or do I let it refine me? Do I let pain bury me? Or do I use it to build me? The unstoppable know the answer. They rise. Every time. Resilience also inspires. When others see you rise after falling, it gives them courage to rise too. Your comeback becomes someone else's hope. Your resilience becomes someone else's fuel. And that's why the habit of resilience is so powerful. It doesn't just transform you, it transforms everyone around you. So how do you build resilience? By refusing to quit. By deciding that failure is not final. By practicing the habit of rising daily, no matter how many times you stumble. By shifting your perspective, seeing setbacks as setups, defeats as lessons, pain as preparation. Because life will test you, people will doubt you, circumstances will try to break you. But if you build resilience, if you make it a daily habit to rise, you will become unstoppable. Resilience is not about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. It's not about escaping the fire, it's about walking through it and coming out refined. It's not about never falling, it's about never staying down. So make it your habit, rise every time, refuse to quit, refuse to surrender, refuse to let failure write your ending. Because resilience is the fourth daily habit that makes you unstoppable. And when you master resilience, no storm, no setback, no failure, no pain can hold you down. The unstoppable think differently. They don't just see life as it is. They see life as it could be. They don't see failure as the end. They see it as a beginning. They don't see obstacles as walls. They see them as doors waiting to be unlocked. What separates the unstoppable from the ordinary is not just discipline, not just focus, not just resilience, it's the mindset. And the mindset is this: I can grow, I can learn, I can improve, I can rise. This is the growth mindset. It's the habit of believing that you are not stuck, that you are not fixed, that you are not limited to who you are today. It's the daily choice to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities. To see mistakes not as proof of weakness, but as fuel for growth. To see every experience as a chance to become stronger, wiser, sharper. Most people fear failure. The unstoppable embrace it. They know failure is a teacher, not an undertaker. They know every mistake carries a lesson. They know every setback holds wisdom. That's the growth mindset. The ability to look at what went wrong and say, thank you for teaching me how to make it right. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall again and again. They stumble, they trip, they collapse. But never once do they think, walking isn't for me, I'll just crawl forever. No, they rise, they try again. They keep going until walking becomes natural. That's growth. That's the mindset you must carry. That failure is not final, it's foundational. The growth mindset also transforms pressure. While most people collapse under it, the unstoppable say, "This is where I grow." They know discomfort stretches capacity. They know that challenge builds character. They know struggle sharpens skill. They don't run from the weight, they train under it. They don't escape the heat, they let it refine them like gold. The growth mindset is about questions. Instead of saying, "Why me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "This is too hard," you say, "How can I become stronger?" Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you say, "How can I figure it out?" Your questions shape your future. And with the right questions, growth never stops. Look at the greatest leaders, innovators, and creators. They never stop learning. They never stop growing. They never stop stretching. They read, they listen, they study, they ask, they learn from failure, they adapt. That's why they rise above the rest, because while others settle, they keep growing. A fixed mindset says, "I am what I am. I can't change." A growth mindset says, "I am becoming. I can evolve. I can expand." A fixed mindset fears challenges. A growth mindset embraces them. A fixed mindset hides from failure. A growth mindset welcomes it. That difference, that daily choice of perspective, determines who becomes unstoppable. And here's the truth. Growth requires humility. You must admit you don't know it all. You must accept that you can learn. You must be willing to be a student again and again. The unstoppable are not arrogant. They are teachable. They remain learners, no matter how much they achieve. Because they know, the moment you stop growing, you start dying. When you carry it, you inspire others to rise. Your willingness to learn encourages others to do the same. Your refusal to settle lifts those around you. Your commitment to grow makes growth the standard, not the exception. So how do you build this habit? Start by reframing failure. Stop asking, "What did I lose?" and start asking, "What did I learn?" Start seeing every challenge as a classroom. Start treating every day as training. Start welcoming mistakes as mentors. And make it daily. Read daily. Learn daily. Stretch daily. Step outside your comfort zone every single day. Don't let your mindset stagnate. Don't let your spirit shrink. Push yourself into growth. Because when growth becomes a habit, nothing can stop your evolution. The unstoppable don't just work harder. They think differently. They live by the growth mindset. And that's why every challenge becomes a step up. Every failure becomes a foundation. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. So make it your habit. Refuse to settle. Refuse to stay the same. Refuse to let today's limits define tomorrow's possibilities. Embrace the growth mindset, because when you believe you can grow, you will. And when you grow daily, you become unstoppable. Self-belief. The habit of trusting yourself even when nobody else does. The habit of saying, "I can," when the world shouts, "You can't." The habit of holding on to faith in your own potential, even when failure, rejection, and doubt are all you see. Listen, talent matters, discipline matters, focus, consistency, resilience, growth. All of them matter, but without self-belief, none of them lasts. Because the truth is, if you don't believe in yourself, every obstacle will break you. Every critic will silence you. Every failure will stop you. But when you build the habit of self-belief, nothing outside of you can destroy what lives inside of you. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's not pride. It's not pretending to be perfect. It is quite confident. It is the inner voice that whispers, "Keep going. You're enough. You're capable. You're stronger than this moment." Think about every great story, every breakthrough, every victory. They all begin with self-belief. Before anyone else believed, the hero did. Before the world applauded, the dreamer continued to dream. Before success showed up, self-belief carried them. Look at Nelson Mandela, sitting in prison for 27 years. The world counted him out. The system tried to break him, but he believed he was meant for more, and that belief fueled him until he achieved freedom. Look at Oprah Winfrey, rejected, doubted, underestimated, but she believed in her voice. She believed in her vision, and that belief built an empire. Look at every great athlete who trained when nobody watched, every artist who created when nobody cared, every leader who kept moving when nobody followed. What kept them going wasn't applause. It wasn't validation. It wasn't luck. It was self-belief. And here's the truth. Self-belief is tested daily. You will hear voices telling you you're not enough. You will face moments that make you question everything. You will encounter people who underestimate you, who mock you, who reject you. But self-belief means you refuse to let their voices be louder than your own. Most people lose because they let doubt win. They quit because they listen to critics louder than they listen to themselves. But the unstoppable build the habit of self-belief so strong that no critic, no failure, no obstacle can drown it out. And self-belief is not built once. It's practiced daily. It's a habit. It's choosing every morning to believe in your vision. It's choosing every night to believe in your progress. It's choosing every setback to believe in your comeback. How do you build it? By keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. By celebrating progress, not just perfection. By remembering where you came from, how far you've already come. And by feeding your mind with truth, not lies, not negativity, not fear. Self-belief also means speaking life over yourself. Words matter. What you tell yourself shapes your future. If you say, I can't, you've already lost. If you say, I will, you open the door to possibility. Speak strength, speak courage, speak faith, speak belief. And here's the beauty. When you believe in yourself, you permit others to believe in themselves too. Your confidence inspires. Your courage lifts. Your belief becomes contagious. So ask yourself, do you believe in yourself? Do you trust your potential? Do you have faith in your own strength? Because the unstoppable do. They may not have everything figured out, but they carry one unshakable truth. I believe I can. Self-belief is not a one-time choice. It's a daily habit. It's the foundation that carries every other habit. And without it, you will always stop short. But with it, you become unstoppable. So practice it, build it, protect it, make it part of who you are. Because when you believe in yourself, nothing, no critic, no failure, no obstacle, no storm can stop you. Self-belief is the sixth daily habit that makes you unstoppable. Build it every day and watch your life transform. Purpose. This is the seventh habit, the final habit, the one that gives meaning to all the rest. Because discipline without purpose becomes punishment. Focus without purpose becomes obsession. Consistency without purpose becomes routine. Resilience without purpose becomes exhaustion. Growth without purpose becomes endless chasing. And self-belief without purpose becomes pride. But when you anchor your life to purpose, every habit finds its direction. Every effort finds its meaning. Every step finds its power. Purpose is the reason you rise. Purpose is the fire that gets you out of bed when the alarm goes off. Purpose is the strength that keeps you moving when your body wants to quit. Purpose is the anchor that holds you steady when storms rage. Purpose is the voice inside you that whispers, keep going, there's more to do. Most people live without purpose. They drift. They move from job to job, season to season, day to day, without clarity, without direction. They let life push them wherever the current flows. And that's why they quit so easily. That's why they crumble under pressure. That's why they feel empty even when they succeed, because without purpose, success feels meaningless. But the unstoppable, they live by purpose. They know why they're here. They know what they're building. They know who they're serving. And that clarity gives them power. Because when you know your why, you can endure anyhow. When you know your why, you can push through pain. When you know your why, you can rise after failure. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. His purpose was greater than fear, greater than opposition, greater than death itself. That's why his words still echo today. Think about Mother Teresa. Her purpose was to serve the forgotten, the poor, the broken. That purpose made her unstoppable. Think about every great figure who changed the world. Their secret wasn't just talent. It wasn't just skill. It wasn't just discipline or resilience. It was a purpose, a calling so strong that nothing could silence it. And here's the truth. Your purpose doesn't have to be world famous. It doesn't have to be on a global stage. Your purpose may be raising your children. Your purpose may be creating art that touches one heart. Your purpose may be building a business that changes your community. Purpose isn't about size. It's about significance. It's about meaning. It's about living for something bigger than yourself. Purpose also fuels endurance. Pain without purpose breaks you, but pain with purpose builds you. Struggle without purpose defeats you, but struggling with purpose refines you. When you live with purpose, even the hardest seasons become stepping stones. Even the darkest nights become part of the story. Even the greatest losses become seeds of future gain. But here's the key. Purpose must be chosen daily. It's not enough to discover it once. You must remind yourself of it every morning. You must return to it every night. Because life will distract you. Doubt will cloud you. Resistance will try to pull you away. And if you don't protect your purpose, you'll drift back into emptiness. So make it a habit. Ask yourself every day, why am I doing this? Who am I serving? What is the meaning behind this work? Let purpose guide your discipline. Let purpose sharpen your focus. Let purpose fuel your consistency. Let purpose empower your resilience. Let purpose drive your growth. Let purpose strengthen your belief. Because purpose is the engine of unstoppable living. When you know your purpose, failure doesn't stop you. Criticism doesn't break you. Obstacles don't block you. You see everything as part of the mission, and you keep moving, and that's what makes you unstoppable. So here's the challenge. Find it, seek it, pray for it, listen for it. Discover the reason you were put on this earth. And once you do, never let it go. Hold it close. Build your life around it. Make it your habit. Because purpose is not just the seventh habit that makes you unstoppable. It is the habit that ties all the others together. Purpose gives meaning to the grind. Purpose gives strength to the struggle. Purpose gives power to the process. And when you live with purpose, nothing, no setback, no critic, no storm, no failure can stop you. Purpose is the seventh daily habit. And when you embrace it, when you live it, when you practice it, you don't just become unstoppable. You become unshakable, unmovable, unbreakable. And that is the life you were created for. Build the habits. Live the habits. Become the habit. Because when you do, you won't just chase greatness. You'll embody it. You won't just survive life. You'll become unstoppable.